just because you're from America, just because you're from a first world country, whatever you want to call it, is that what identifies you as an expat? Because hi, my name is Marlon Aleister, and I have been living in South Korea for 4 years, and I refer to myself as an immigrant living in Korea. And I want to talk about why, because I feel like this is a controversial thing, and I don't know why it is, because it feels so simple in my mind, but I don't think that it is. I think this is actually quite controversial, so I want to hear what you guys have to say about this, because this is something that I've been thinking about for a long time. Ever since I came to Korea, this is something that I've been thinking about. So please let me know what you have to say. I'm very, very curious because I've heard about this conversation a lot in person. So I really want to know what you got to say because I'm going to talk about it. So please, I hope this just feels like a kind of FaceTime because I'm in a little bit of a rush, but I want to talk about it anyway. So let's talk about it. So I have been living in South Korea for 4 years. I have learned the language and I have been living here with the intention of continuing to live here, and I love it. I've been loving living in Korea. I don't want to go back to America. I'm originally from America. My mom is from Germany and Hungary, and my dad is from Mexico, and so I'm very familiar with immigration in America. And moving to Korea, I have met a whole variety of different people from Southeast Asia, from South Africa, from Europe, from America, and there are a whole load of different terms people refer to themselves as, whether it be student or whether it be expat or whether it be just immigrant. I've heard a whole array of these kind of titles. And the one that always stuck out to me was expat, because by definition, expat is somebody that lives in a country that is not their own and they have been living there temporarily and will eventually move back. And an immigrant is somebody that by definition moves to a country with the intention of living there permanently. And so that's why I feel comfortable using the term immigrant in Korea, because I have the intention and I have made efforts to live in Korea as permanently as possible. However, I have met a lot of people that refer to themselves as expats in Korea, whether they are married to a Korean person or whether they are living here for 5, 10 plus years with no intention of going home, they still refer to themselves as an expat. And I don't know why. And I am genuinely curious because I feel like living in somewhere, whether it be temporarily, permanently, 5, 10 years is a long time. It's not a short amount of time. But at what point do you just refer to yourself as an immigrant? Because especially through marriage, if you're living somewhere, if somebody gets married to a Korean person, or I'm gonna speak about Korea because I don't know about other countries. I'm just gonna specifically talk about Korea, but I feel like this would apply to kind of everywhere. Somebody marries a Korean person and they are moving to Korea and they plan to live in Korea permanently. Are they still an expat? Why would that be? Because just because you're from America, just because you're from a first world country, whatever you want to call it, is that what identifies you as an expat? Because if somebody was doing the same thing from Vietnam or from Thailand, would they also be referred to as an expat in your eyes, in those people's eyes? People from America, people from Western countries, I feel personally like to use the term expat to other themselves from the word immigrant. And let me talk about why. In America, I feel like a lot of middle American people, not from the coasts, I'm not saying that they are dumb by any means, but I feel like they don't have a lot more experience with immigration. They just hear about it in the news, they hear about it in a negative way, they hear about it very democratic, very government kind of way. And so I feel like there's a lot of negative connotations with what the word immigrant means. And I don't want to say that they are scared to be called immigrants, but I feel like subconsciously they are using the word expat to not refer to themselves as an immigrant, because there are a lot of people here living in Korea or other countries permanently or very close to permanently, but still refer to themselves as an expat, and I don't understand why. Especially when there are conversations when we are talking or people are talking about the conversations of other foreigners from Southeast Asian countries, specifically Thailand or Vietnam, people that are coming here to work temporarily for, let's say, a few years, and then they move back to their home country. Those people are referred to as immigrants. They're never referred to as expats. And I think that that is a very interesting thing. Why are people that are living here for 5 to 10 plus years referred to as expats? So they're kind of semi-permanent, but they're referring to themselves typically as expats. They're here permanently, semi-permanently, whatever you want to call it. They're here for a very long time, but referring to themselves as expats but other people from other countries coming to work in Korea are immigrants, even though they're not here with the intention of living here permanently. So me personally, I live in Korea, I speak Korean, my day-to-day life, I speak Korean, I don't live in Seoul, I live outside of Seoul, so all of my interactions are in Korean. My daily life, I have integrated into the country to the point where I don't feel uncomfortable. I have communities around me, I have a job, I have friends, I have comfort living here in Korea. I have intentions to live here permanently. But I feel like a lot of the times, if I were to refer to myself as an expat, people wouldn't blink an eye. And I think that's because I am a white man, I am from America. Nobody would be like, no, but you're an immigrant. No one would tell me that. I refer to myself as an immigrant because I feel like that suits my intention the best. And I don't understand why other people wouldn't refer to themselves that way. But I would bet that people are scared of the word immigrant for a variety of reasons. I am a white man. I am not going to speak for other people from other countries or from other ethnicities, but personally, as a white man that is living in Korea and seeing other white people living in Korea for a very, very long time and still referring to them as expats, I feel a little cringe from that, because I mean, what separates you and other foreigners living in Korea that you would refer to as immigrants? Or how about this? If before you're watching this video, would you call people from Southeast Asia, from Africa, would you call those people that are living in Korea just for work, just for a short period of time, would you refer to them as expats as well? If you are answering very honestly, I don't think that they would. I always just bunched up people from expat category and from the immigrant category, and I just put them together because I didn't really see a huge difference. I would refer to these people as immigrants in general. People from a Western country, people from an Asian or African country, I just always referred to them equally as immigrants until somebody had told me, well, actually, I'm an expat. So I started to think, what is the difference between an expat from America referring to themselves as an expat? However, they would refer to people from other countries, specifically countries that are not as well off as their home country. They would refer to people in very similar situations working in another country temporarily. They would refer to them as immigrants. So I don't know the answer. I have a degree in sociology, so I am very interested in topics like this. I don't have the answer. I don't know why. I have a very strong feeling, and I feel like the strong feeling comes from words like immigrant being with a negative connotation, especially in America. The idea of what an immigrant is typically not a very, amongst white people specifically as well, not a very welcome thought. And so for those people to now come to another country and hear that word used against them, not against them, but for them, must not be a very welcome feeling. Must not feel like a very suitable thing for them as a white person or for a person from a first world country to be referred to as a immigrant, because they're eventually going to go home anyway. But so are people from Thailand, so are people from Vietnam. Those people are here to make money, then they'll go back, but they're never referred to as expats. I think language has a really important role in our lives, and I think labels are a huge part of language, and I think that labels are very powerful. I've heard some people say in these conversations, I've heard these people say that, only why even worry about what label we use? Why does it matter? I'm just traveling the world. And I think that's a beautiful idea. I think that's great to think that we are just coming to work and we're coming to live and I don't need a label. However, political matters and in documentations and stuff like that, we use this language to identify people. And I think that that is something that we're overlooking if we just try to simplify it and say, oh, I don't want to go by any label, I'm just here. And honestly, by most of the time, I don't say that. I don't go around telling people, oh yeah, I'm an immigrant. I don't talk about it like that. I just think it's something that we got to think about. And I think it's something that I've been thinking about all the time, and I hope that we can talk about this in comments, because I just want to know why is there this kind of disconnect between the Western foreigners and the non-Western foreigners, and why we use different words for these different people in very similar situations. And so if you have anything to share, please let me know in the comments. If you have any experience with this, if you study this, I want to know what you have to say. Please let me know in the comments. If you have any opinions, please let me know. I usually don't make content like this. I just make content living in Korea, but I just want to talk about it because I feel like it's something that I've been thinking about a lot, and I want to hear other people's opinions. So please let me know what you have to say, and let's keep it civil in the comments, please. I'm not trying to attack anyone by any means. I'm just genuinely very curious about what these things mean, and I hope you are too. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.